Hey everyone, it's SeaMystic back here with another pick a card. I thought I would try something different this time. My strongest ability is actually energy work, so I wanted to do an energy scan. I wasn't sure how it would turn out for a collective group, but it went swimmingly, mermaid pun intended. I didn't pick up on energy cords, which I usually do, but I picked up on basically everything else, and surprisingly even some past life stuff. We have 4 piles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you need more time to choose your pile, go ahead and pause. Otherwise, the timestamps will be in the description box below as always. So, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, for those of you who chose pile 1, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages first, which is going to include your energy scan. So starting from the top, the crown, I didn't get any info with the crown or the third eye or the throat for those first 3. Now, this could mean that everything is stable, but it could also mean that it's just not something that your guides wanted to talk about at this time. When I got to your heart, however, I noticed a lot of pressure or density. So I think that there's a lot that you're storing in your heart chakra. Like a buildup of energy, you could say. You could be experiencing some heart problems, or it could manifest as something like a lack of empathy, trust issues, intolerance of other people. But I also think that there's a chance there's a lot that has affected you emotionally that you haven't dealt with, you haven't faced, so it's sort of just building up in there. Your solar plexus was active. It seemed to be a bit overactive. This could manifest as someone who is being hyperactive, my way or the highway, impulsive even. You could be having some digestive issues. That's if it's overactive. However, I did hear the word change as I moved over your solar plexus, so I think that you are being forced to move in a situation, and that's sort of what's creating that overactive solar plexus. With your sacral chakra, I didn't get any info. Again, that could mean that it is stable, or it could mean that your guides or God didn't want to talk about that at the moment. And lastly, your root chakra, same thing with that. Didn't get much energy-wise, but I actually heard the word sarcophagus. So that surprised me. This was the first channeling I did. I wasn't expecting to get any sort of past life stuff to come up, but it did. I think that's a past life that you have stored in your root chakra. So this would be in Egypt, Greece, or Rome. Because after looking it up, those are the civilizations that are associated with sarcophagus. It's a stone coffin that was used in ancient times. So I got some other channeled words for you. We have east. This could mean something personal to you, something to look out for. There are different meanings for it. The Native Americans had their own meanings for it for each cardinal direction with the medicine wheel. But also, it could mean shining or a new day because the sun rises in the east. Next, we have exo. I've gotten this before in different readings. It means external, which may go along with the solar plexus where I received the word change, and I said that perhaps there was something that was going on that was forcing you to move, so perhaps it's related and it's an external circumstance. Lastly, we have Eros. This is a Greek god, so remember sarcophagus, that could be Egypt, Rome, or Greece. So we have another Greece reference here. He is the god of love and desire. The Roman equivalent of Eros is Cupid. So for Eros, some symbolism would be a flaming torch or a bow and arrow. So that is what I have for your channeled messages. Let's go ahead and move along to the tarot portion. Forgot to mention earlier, I shuffled on camera, and that will be attached at the end of the video if you want to see that. So, remember when I said that you had an overactive solar plexus that seemed to be pushing energy outward? Well, your current energy is the Eight of Wands, which represents energy moving forward and quickly at that. Just make sure you're channeling it in the right direction, like toward your goals, for example. We want to maximize the energy. Now, for some, this can represent air travel, a quick trip, but however it manifests for you, either way, it's going to be some sort of change, because that's what we channeled with the solar plexus. So you could be fearing this change, in which case I would urge you not to fear. Change is how we grow. What's crossing you, or the problem, is the King of Swords. If this is you, you could be overthinking the situation, or thinking too much with your logic instead of your heart, or even not communicating your truth or standing in your power, because it is in the problem's position. For some of you, though, this is going to be representing an authority figure in your life that is causing some problems, or a masculine Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's interesting is that your overall energy for the entire read is the Queen of Swords. So this leads me to believe that the King of Swords is either your energy or a counterpart energy. The Queen, just like the King of Swords, is very intellectual, but she's also open to hearing other points of view. She's also a truth teller. She doesn't like gossip. She likes to get straight to the point. So with this being the overall energy for your entire read, I would say perhaps there's a nudge here for you to speak the truth about something. You could be a bit too much in your logic and your intellect, which is good when making impartial decisions, but when it comes to matters of the heart, it really doesn't go together. So especially with all this built-up energy you have in your heart chakra, there's a need to balance emotion with the mind instead of just using one over the other. And for a couple of you, this could be referencing that you're having trouble finding like legal advice or financial advice, something in that arena. In the past position, what happened in the past, we have, surprise, surprise, another sword, the Page of Swords. So you have almost the full court of swords here. So you could have received some sort of communication, some sort of new idea, or even perhaps there's been a delay in some sort of news that you've been waiting for, or a delay in communication. As in, you've been observing but not really talking. But I do think it shows that you've had some sort of fresh perspective or fresh idea that came about, or a new way to express yourself or communicate. In your conscious position, though, meaning what you're aware of, we see the Six of Cups with the Moon card. For a lot of you, this is going to represent childhood fears. Perhaps that's been something holding you back. Something from your childhood or the past that has caused an energy of fear and uncertainty. For some of you, you could be missing someone. You're uncertain if you will ever see them again, or if you'll have a reunion. Or you could be wondering, when will I find my soulmate or my soul family, or have children? Or even, when will my childhood dreams come to fruition? What's interesting is that the only Cups cards we have, Cups represent emotions, are representing your conscious. So it does sort of go hand in hand with all that built up energy in the heart chakra. And while it is showing up, it's not in something that you're doing, it's just in something that you're thinking. And remember, emotion can't really be thought. It has to be felt. In your subconscious, what you're not aware of is the Two of Wands reversed. Subconsciously, you could really fear change. There could be a choice you have to make, a path you need to go down, but you're afraid of the consequences of that, or failure, perhaps. For others of you, this is going to be telling you that your subconscious wants you to look inward, not outward. That the answers you need, you can only find within yourself. to ask yourself, what do you really want? What are your true values? What do you truly want to do with your life? What do you truly care about? What do you love? What lights you up? Who are you? Perhaps you've been going along with what everybody else wants for so long that you don't even know anymore. Look in that heart chakra. Find out what all has been stored in there. Now, in the future position, we have the Page of Wands. This shows you going toward your passions, going toward your creativity. Perhaps you have a spiritual path, but it's taking all of that energy from the Eight of Wands, your solar plexus, and grounding it into reality, actually creating something. You may not know what you're doing at first. There may be a lot of unknowns, but you're going to make the first step. It's taking you out of that mental swords energy and putting you into the fire, passionate energy, which is fearless. So you're going to be releasing a lot of fears here. Hopefully, if you choose that path, the potential is here. Now, for your shadow cards, we have Gilded Regret. So this represents someone who is living in the past, how things were or how things could have been. But remember, it doesn't do us any good to focus on the past. You have now, and you can create what you want now. Your other one was hiding your true self. So have you been hiding it from other people, or have you been hiding it from yourself? I want to ask again, who are you? Now, the sentence in the guidebook says, you could be in front of the mirror, or you could hide behind the mirror, yet you choose to be the mirror. So it seems like you're mirroring what everybody else wants for you, or what you think everybody else wants from you, their projections. But hopefully, like I said, you're coming out of that, if you choose to. We also have the card Abundance. So if you were worried about finances, this is confirmation that your finances will be okay. But also abundance is not just money. So I think this refers to you finally being fulfilled. We have Mercury, no surprise there. It says how you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. Not surprised at all to see Mercury. You have a lot of swords energy. You use your mind a lot, perhaps a bit too much, but there could be something you need to communicate. You could be in social media, getting ready to travel, or write. I do think there's a shift in one of those areas. For your last three oracle cards, we have Inner Temple, Devotion, Turn in to the portal of your heart. So just further validation that you really need to look into your heart. Next we have the Initiation, Rite of Passage, Crossing the Threshold. So this is sort of a lesson that needed to be learned here. But the question is, are you going to do it? Then we have Share Your Voice, Come Out of the Cave, Persecution, Expression. Aha! So you have been holding back something. And you're probably worried about persecution, but are realizing that it doesn't matter what people think, you need to be your true self. For your other messages, okay, we have money increase and detour, path correction, temporary. So a temporary detour. Too detached. So you could be too detached or somebody you're dealing with. Some validation there. Okay. Delusion. Don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself, basically. Feeling trapped, but are you trapping yourself? Soul mission, life purpose. So this is part of your life purpose. Food allergy, wrong food, so that could be of significance to you. You may be eating the wrong foods or paying more attention to what you eat. Gossip, hidden enemy, you could be worried about gossip, or you could be a gossip, or your own worst enemy, or fear having a hidden enemy. Okay, financial setback, let's see. We also had, where is it? money increase. So if you had a financial setback and were worried, you're going to have a money increase. So that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Anything like that really does help. It helps to support and circulate the channel, makes me feel better. And also let me know what you thought of this type of reading. Hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose pile 2, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages first. This also includes your chakra scan. Starting with the crown, it did seem to be open. I didn't really sense anything there. And then your third eye, it did have a blockage. This could manifest as headaches, hormonal imbalances, or even having poor judgment, lack of focus and imagination, or being easily influenced, or not being able to see beyond the 3D. Your throat also had a blockage, and I heard the word axe. So this could be related to some sort of past life where you had an injury to the throat. I'm trying to not to get too morbid here. But so you could have a line on your throat that could have manifested physically if that was a past life thing. But you could be experiencing issues with your throat or your thyroid. You could have issues with expressing yourself, be really sensitive or dependent on others, or sensitive and dependent toward the input of others' opinions, or you could just be not a good listener. So those are some things to look out for that one. Your heart seems to be mostly open, but there was a little bit of blockage there too. So you could have some heart or lung issues. You could be experiencing sort of a lack of empathy for others, or you could just have trust issues. I didn't really get anything with the solar plexus, so I put stable, but it could just be, there could be something going on there, but it's just not what's important or what the divine wants to talk about right now. Your sacral chakra had a slight push, so this could mean there could be some overactivity, or it's just really being utilized or worked on at the moment. And I also heard the word feminine for this, and the sacral chakra is quite a feminine chakra because it's about creativity and fertility. So you could be working on your feminine side, male or female. We both have a feminine side that we can utilize. Or you could be overly sensitive right now, experiencing overindulgence, having lower back pain or issues with your reproductive organs or your urinary tract. Now, whenever I transferred the findings on my notepad to this green paper, I forgot to add the root chakra. Yours was actually overactive. It seemed to be because it was pushing outward quite a bit. So, symptoms for an overactive root chakra: aggression, cynicism, being too rooted, like stubborn to move. You could have issues with your bowels or back, eating disorders, or you could just be questioning your future and being very anxious about it. For the other channel messages, we have Horus. I've gotten Horus before in different readings, so maybe you tend to pick the piles with Horus, but this could be an Egyptian connection. None of the words I got for you were in English, so next we have Lanas, and this, I had to translate this. It can mean wool or wood. It seemed to mostly be related to Spanish or Italian origin, but there's also a French convent named Lanas, so not sure there, but with all this talk of different countries and things, I think there's a lot of different past lives coming through. Next we have Saf, and what I could find is that it means it's the son of a giant in the Bible. Very confusing. And I think I also saw where it can mean rushes or sea moss. So anyway, and next we have another word that's not English, Terra, spelled Tera. If we're talking about biblically speaking, the word means gate. Now also, it is a Greek word for monster, and Also, it could be related to Egypt, again, because one of Bram Stoker's books, apparently there was a character that was an Egyptian queen. Her name was Tara, and it was spelled just like that. So, again, there's another biblical connection, another Egyptian connection. But also, monster sort of goes along with Saf, who was a giant. So, I don't know what's going on, guys. But it's really interesting, to say the least. So let's just move along to the tarot portion, and we'll see how it relates to your current energies. So remember when I said that your sacral chakra was a little overactive and that you could be overly sensitive and that your heart was mostly open? Well, your energy right now, you're showing up as the Palace of Cups. So you're really in your feminine energy right now. Really in your emotion. Because the Palace of Cups for this deck is like a step above the King of Cups. So it's like you're surrounded by water. The problem is showing up as the Five of Swords. So there's been some sort of conflict or turmoil. Now, this could be with a person, but of course, this could be internally. But because your emotions are in overdrive right now, it may be a nudge here to remind you not to lash out at others that don't have anything to do with the initial conflict, but that's not going to be for everybody. But this could have left you feeling a loss at the end of the day, like you failed at something. And in the past position, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. So there's a few things that could be happening here. For some of you, your intuition could be in overdrive, and it's sort of hard to make sense of things. So there's a need to be still and look within and try to find the answers. A lot of you, though, are too much in your emotion. Perhaps you're using your emotion without any sort of logic. Now, there should always be a balance between the two. You can't be all logic or all heart. So perhaps you're way too much in your emotion and it's sort of clouding everything, or you're giving too much away to other people and it's really starting to drain you. Others of you, you could be detaching from your emotions entirely, although I don't think that's the case here. If it is, then it's probably referring to somebody that you're dealing with. Perhaps you're dealing or have dealt with someone who was sort of not empathetic at all, or narcissistic, or even codependent. Either way, though, there's a need to step back and just breathe and look within. See perhaps where you need to set up better boundaries so that you don't become drained. Because the overall energy for the reading is the Strength card in reverse. So this is showing me that you're lacking self-belief, or you're lacking inner strength right now. Or at least you feel that way. You feel powerless. In the conscious position, meaning what you're aware of, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. So this is great to see. So you're aware that you need to let go of certain emotions. This could be shame. This could be guilt. This could be regret. Any sort of pain or disappointment, like even feeling abandonment, negative thinking. You're aware that it doesn't serve you and that you need to release it. And being aware of it is the first step to overcoming it. And that is what you're trying to do. For your subconscious, what you're not aware of, we have the Ace of Wands. So what you don't see is that you still have this inner spark in you. You have a fire within you, and you can use that to overcome anything. In the future position, we have the Lovers reversed. So this could indicate a disconnection or a detachment. And it could be with a person or just something that you thought was supposed to be for you or meant for you. But it could also just be saying here that you need to focus on self-love. Have you not been respecting yourself or honoring yourself? Do you not feel valuable in the world? Do you not feel like you have anything to offer? Do you not truly love yourself? Also, for some of you, though, this is going to be talking about, are you having trouble taking accountability for the decisions that you've made in life? Have you been blaming the universe? If so, this is causing a lot of inner turmoil with you. We'll look at your oracle cards for some more information here. For your shadow card, it says, I won't cry for you. So this isn't really a shadow aspect because this card is actually in the acceptance phase. So it's basically saying, anyone that has hurt you, I'm not going to waste any more energy on that. I'm not going to give you any more of my tears. We also have Venus, no surprise there because of the sacral chakra and feminine in the channeled, because Venus is divine feminine energy. And it says, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. So so there could be something there with too much, like I said, in the channeled overindulgence, or you could be too focused on materialism or success or even your beauty, how you look. Or that has been taken advantage of in some way, leading you to believe you need to look a certain way to get things in life. We also have the 11th house, which is Aquarius's natural house, and it says where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. So if you look at the imagery, she's looking at a star, so she's wishing upon a star. Then we have mystery and awareness. I do get high priestess vibes with those, so you could have some psychic abilities. For your oracles, we have warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? So male or female, you're a warrior, and there's a call to action here. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided, so you are receiving a lot of divine guidance at the time. Priestess, no surprise there. It says, how are you being called to step up and lead? So again, another reference to sort of a call to action. We're not done quite yet. We still have a couple more messages that I pulled. It's real quick, and it may add some clarification or some things to look forward to. So give me just a second. Face your fears. Fitting. Living a lie. So this could be you. People like you. So you could be insecure to be yourself. Don't be. Meeting a new person. Are you meeting yourself for the first time? Some of you could be. Herbal medicine. You could be getting into herbal medicine. Divine time out. So you were put on a break on purpose. Drop your guard. Yeah, it's okay to let your guard down and be yourself. Abandonment. This could all stem from that fear of abandonment. But you're facing your fears. So that is what I have for you. I hope it resonated. Please comment, like, anything like that. I do hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose pile 3, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages, which includes your energy scan. So we'll start at the top of the head, the crown. It seemed very dense, so I think that you're storing a lot in your crown. You may be having some sleep issues because of this. There may be a lot going on as far as your faith goes, your spirituality goes, feeling connected to other people versus individuality. So there could be a lot going on there. And then with your third eye, it seems stable. I didn't get much information there, so I just wrote stable. That doesn't mean that there's not something going on there. It just means maybe that the divine or your guides didn't want to bring that up. That's not the pertinent issue at the moment, I guess. Same thing with your throat. I didn't get really anything there either. Now, your heart, it was very dense as well. This is the only pile that had a lot of density. So you seem to be storing a lot in different chakras. And this could be past events. This could even be past life stuff. There's just a lot you seem to be carrying. You could have a lot of bottled up emotions. This could also manifest as having some heart or lung issues. Your solar plexus, you guessed it, it was also dense. A little less dense, though. You could be carrying a lot in regard to power dynamics, like feeling powerless or being too much in your power. Something like that. Something like that's being held on to. But this could also cause problems with your digestive system, acid reflux even. Your sacral chakra, you guessed it, it was also dense. So this is the chakra that represents fertility, sexuality, creativity. It is in your reproductive system region. You could have problems with your urinary tract or reproductive system, or with sexuality or creativity. There's just a lot stored there, and it's actually the energy pushed outward. So it could be overactive at the moment, or just being really worked on or utilized. So if it is overactive, you could be overly sensitive or overly stimulated at the moment. Your root chakra, so it actually did have a blockage here. This could manifest as lower back pain, even constipation, fatigue, just feeling ungrounded, clumsy. You could feel unsafe or insecure, or even have problems with your metabolism or blood circulation. So I think definitely a lot stored there that's causing a block. It could be from your childhood. It could even be from your past life. Just something very significant. So some channeled words I got. I haven't gotten things in other languages in a while, but I did for this reading, and I think it has to do with past life stuff. So I saw inro, and I didn't think that would actually mean anything. I just thought it was a misspelling of intro. But when I Googled it, I realized that it's actually, it's a case worn back like in the 1600s. People would carry medicine or seals for, not actual seals, but like envelope seals in it. And it would be attached to the sash around a kimono. So it's Japanese. So some of you could have had a Japanese past life. Only if that resonates for you. I mean, if you've been drawn to Japanese culture, this could be a confirmation for you. And then watch, I don't know if it's telling you to watch for something or talking about an actual watch. And then raise, I don't know if you're getting a raise or it's talking about like rising above. Just take it how it resonates here. I do offer up my own interpretations for these things, like I always say, but take what resonates, because it could have personal meaning to you, and I don't want to diminish from that. So now let's go ahead and move along to the tarot portion that will probably shed some light on your energy scan. I forgot to mention I did shuffle on camera, and that's attached at the end of the video. So to start, your energy now is the Queen of Cups reversed with the Ace of Swords reversed. Coincidentally, the other group that had an overactive sacral chakra also had the Queen of Cups in reverse. So this sort of validates that you are probably extra sensitive right now, perhaps really in your emotions. Something could have triggered you, and this related to the Ace of Swords could have been a miscommunication, an injustice, or just feeling like things aren't clear. I wonder if your emotion is clouding your judgment in some way. Because the overall energy for your read is the Four of Cups in reverse. So this can signify that you're focusing maybe on the past or on negative circumstances that you've faced, and it's causing you to pass up opportunities that are being offered, sort of feeling disillusioned or even cynical. In the past position, we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This tells me that perhaps you put a lot of effort into something and nothing really came of it, you feel. Or your energy could be scattered for some of you. It could be you're not investing enough into one thing. You're sort of investing into a smorgasbord of different things. And for others of you, this could indicate that you are questioning whether something you have been investing in is the right thing because it's not making you feel like you thought it would. But either way, we see here that what's blocking you is the Four of Pentacles. So this is holding on to something too tightly. There is sort of a need to release here. There's a couple scenarios. So something that didn't work out in the past, there's a need to let go of that. Or you are very self-protective. You're afraid to give to any situation based on things that have happened in the past. In the conscious position, meaning what you're aware of, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So you are aware of an imbalance. Now, like I said, this is going to be different for each of you. Some of you could be overgiving, and some of you could fear giving. For example, some of you could be consciously aware that perhaps there's been financial difficulties, investments that didn't pay off, relationships that weren't reciprocated. One gave more than the other. Like I said, you could have been closed off and not giving. In your subconscious, or what you're not seeing, we have the Ace of Cups. This is a new opportunity or potential for love, pure love, compassion, empathy, true, pure love. It could come in the form of the birth of a new inspiration, or even a pregnancy, a relationship. It's going to be different for each of you, but I want to say to you, let love in, or if it's the other case, let your love out. In the future position, we have the Judgment card with the Five of Wands in reverse. So the Judgment card, think of it like the Justice card, but it has intuition added to it, not just logic. And that was sort of the missing piece. You needed logic and intuition. You needed heart and mind. And this could be a come to Jesus moment, or some sort of like divine intervention. And it helps you make decisions and get clarity on things that have perhaps been causing inner conflict for a long time. Or if there's conflicts you've been avoiding because you don't want to deal with them, not really facing them, there's going to be a judgment call on it regardless. So like I said, this could be divine intervention. Some of you could have beliefs that are changed, and these could be long-standing beliefs that you've had. But what it's going to do, it's going to set you free. I see the angel there with the trumpet, raising people from the dead. And you got raised in your channel. So it's like you're being raised from the dead. You're coming back to life. What you thought was dead in you, or what was metaphorically killed inside of you. That's, wow. For some of you, it is this deep. It is like maybe at one point you felt like you died inside. Your spirit was broken. But it is sort of a resurrection for you. Sorry. Let's move along to your oracle cards before I get more emotional. I say that, and then I see that you have the card breaking free. So isn't that confirmation? And then we have awakening. These damn cards are going to make me cry. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So it's a new way of being for you. It's an awakening for you. For your shadow cards, I don't ever take those in reverse, but I specifically remember when Atonement came out, I was told not to make that upright. And that is because, give me just a second. I was told to keep it reversed because you've punished yourself enough. You've blamed yourself enough. You have nothing that you need to atone for anymore. Next we have the Temple of My Body. So this card talks about feeling worthless, being ashamed of your body or sexuality. There could even be guilt or shame associated with that. There could even be a disconnect from your body or sexuality in general. So there could be a need to reconnect with your body and start honoring it and taking care of it. And I think you will, because your last card, I almost want to do a mic drop after I say it, is Leo. And it says, the energy is flamboyant, dramatic, proud, and passionate. It focuses on the importance of self-belief. Now let's move along to the final messages. This could be what's going on now, or it could be referencing future events. So give me just a second. Someone will give you a divine message. Passing the test. You are passing the test. Let go of guilt or shame. You cannot make this shit up. I mean, come on. Cutting negative cords so you can break free. Yeah. Justice served. My God. Isolation. So you could be noticing how you are separating yourself from people, or that perhaps you need some time to yourself. But wow, that is what I have for you. If it resonated, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, if it resonated, of course. So I hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless. Hey, for those of you who chose pile 4, let's go ahead and dive in as mermaids do. We'll start with your channel messages first, which includes your scan. So initially, I wasn't finding anything. I had to sort of dig deep for the information. So I don't know if you hide things well, or if you just don't have a lot to work on at the moment. But your root seemed to be the most active. Now that is the chakra at the very base of your spine. You could be trying to ground or very grounded at the moment. But I'll get back to that one in a minute. So I started to finally notice that there was a slight weakness in the throat and heart area. So you could be having issues with your throat, your thyroid, your heart, or your lungs. Or you could be having problems expressing your emotions, or expressing your truth, or speaking up. So with the root, what was interesting is that when I was going over the root chakra, I heard a lyric to a song that I had heard several months ago. I heard it a couple times. It was actually a hymn. Please, wait, have mercy on me, O God. And it was in Aramaic, which was Jesus's language. So they were singing it for the Pope. I liked it, and I listened to it a couple times. Again, that's been several months ago. But for some reason, whenever I went over your root, I heard part of that song. So I had to basically translate the song to figure out what line it was actually saying. It turned out to be the line, "Cleanse me from my sins." So this led me to believe that there's some sort of guilt or shame hidden in your root chakra. My first thought was, this is past life. This is a past life that is sort of still lingering around and affecting you. It could have been a very religious one where you felt guilt or shame for any impure thoughts. Or you could have had a past life where you did things that now sort of make you feel shame or guilt, and you don't really know where it's coming from. Now, if you don't resonate with having a past life, this could, of course, just be talking about your past. I mean, it could in either circumstance. If we have past lives with unresolved karma, it can show up again. So despite what you believe, there's something in your past in this life that has caused some sort of guilt or shame, I think. I definitely get the feeling of suppression. So it made you suppress yourself. And I think that might be why your throat and your heart seem to be the weakest. Because those talk about expressing your feelings or expressing your truth. You got a lot of channeled messages, more than the other piles, and I think that's because you got the least as far as your energy scan, and I think it was meant to happen like that. So you got a number, 526 and 5242. They both equal the same number. So 526, that talks about it's time to start building your legacy despite any challenges that are coming up. And it is literally the number for wisdom. And 5242 is an angel number. It's your angels letting you know that they're going to help you get started on building your dreams. Both of these numbers equal 13, and this can represent the divine feminine or the death card in tarot, which is the phoenix rising from the ashes, the death and rebirth energy. It also reduces to a 4, which can represent stability. I also saw the word kale. I don't think it meant to say call, and that has a few meanings. It's a game, sort of like bowling, or it could be referring to a wharf, which is a bank or a shore. Or there's another word that comes from it, K-E-Y-E, and I've channeled K-E-Y-E-S before, so I thought that was a weird coincidence. The next word I saw was Saman, so this has different meanings depending on what language. Singapore, for example, this would be a monetary penalty, but in Persia, it represents wealth. So if we go way, way back to Proto-Turkish, it would be straw or hay. Or if it's Norse, it would be together. Then I saw the word spas. I think all of this is past life stuff, by the way. And then visa, which the Latin root of that word means to see. And then Isis, which is a divine feminine energy, so another reference to the divine feminine. And then Sicily. And then what I think is the word sigh. It's in a different language. I didn't think I would actually find anything. I thought it was just a misspelling of scythe. But it's actually a name, first name or last name. I wasn't sure about what language, though. And lastly, we have Leo. So that could be a name, or that could be just energy that you have, or you could be a Leo, for example. So let's go ahead and move along to the tarot portion to see what's going on. I did shuffle on camera per usual, and that's going to be at the end of the video if you want to look at that. But remember when I said that the number is reduced to the number 4? Well, your current energy is number 4, the Emperor. You are embodying the masculine energy right now, which I think is weird because we had Isis, the divine feminine, in the channeled and in the number 13. So there's something here with the divine feminine and masculine energies. So like I said, right now you're the Emperor, so you're kind of acting like a boss right now. Remember, though, the Emperor tends to be very traditional, very structured, very grounded. So, I mean, that could be why your root chakra was so dense. But he doesn't use his heart very much, so maybe that's why your heart chakra seemed a bit weaker than the others. And if you are a very traditional person that follows sort of strict rules or ideas, then that could be why your throat chakra, maybe that's why it's a little bit weak, because you're not expressing your truth because you feel restricted, like I said, that repression in some way. Coincidentally, your overall energy for the entire read is the Page of Swords. So this means that you're perhaps getting a new perspective or new idea on how to communicate, or just a new perspective or idea in general. But I do think it could be linked to communication with the throat chakra. There is a curiosity here. Also, for others of you, if this is talking about some sort of delayed news or delayed communication, then it's just talking about patience. So, you're the Emperor, and what's crossing you, what the problem is shown here to be the Ace of Cups, which is love. So how in the world could love be a problem? Well, you might not be using your emotions or expressing them. You know, we talked about that earlier. So if it's coming up in the problem position of the cards, then that looks to be what it's indicating here. In the past position, we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So the Queen of Pentacles upright would be a nurturing, motherly energy. So perhaps you had issues with the maternal figures in your life. For others of you, this is going to be talking about how you have been focusing that nurturing energy in on yourself, taking care of yourself, your financial independence, or at the very least, a need to do so. Because this can be an imbalance in work versus family, or work versus your personal priorities. Because it's a general reading, I don't want to put you in a box, because it's going to be different for each of you. It is causing an internal conflict. In the conscious position, meaning what you're aware of, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. This isn't the first time this card has came out tonight, and it indicates an internal conflict that could perhaps change your stance on certain issues, your beliefs. You could also be the type of person who likes to avoid conflict. You don't want to stir the pot. So it seems that you do care a lot about tradition, maybe even image. Why do I feel like I know who's going to pick this pile? So in the subconscious position, 3 cards came out and I let them. We have the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Six of Wands reversed, and the King of Cups upright. So finally we have some cups or emotion cards show up, but they are, it is in your subconscious. The Seven of Pentacles and Six of Wands reversed. This could be feeling like you failed with things in your past that you put effort and energy into. Perhaps you've built something and you're now realizing that it wasn't what you wanted, or it's been taken from you. Either way, it's showing that you feel like you failed in some way, perhaps even hurt your pride. But you are showing up in your subconscious as the King of Cups, which is a king with emotion, a masculine energy with emotion. So this is someone who there's a lot of chaos going on around him because he's a king, but it doesn't matter what gender. But there's a lot going on around him, but he's not affected by it. If you did my last reading, you may have gotten pile 1. Or this could just be a fear of yours, meaning it hasn't happened yet. It's what you're worried about if you make a decision that with your heart. You're afraid of making an emotional decision with your heart because you could fear that it would lead to some sort of failure, and that everything that you've put your time and energy into in the past will be for nothing, maybe. Some of you could be wondering if something you've put your time and energy into is not something that you want. And that could be a tough pill to swallow, especially if there's pride involved. And remember, we did have Leo in the channeled, and we have the Six of Wands in reverse. So I do think there's an element of pride here. Others of you could be wondering, did I waste my time with a masculine counterpart? Will I ever find victory with this person? Or this could be fears in the future. Will I ever find my masculine counterpart? A small portion of you may fear that if you open up your emotions, your emotional side, that you won't be able to contain it. So that's for some of you. In the future, we have the Tower and the Magician reversed. Some of you could be resisting change altogether, delaying the inevitable. But for others of you, this is an intense internal transformation. And I love this next card, okay? So the Magician reversed. So if you are resisting change or delaying the inevitable, it could be because you know what you want to manifest, but you haven't taken action yet. And that could be because you don't think you have what it takes to pull this off. And with these 2 cards together, I'm here to tell you that it's saying, yes, you do, and yes, you can, and yes, you will. You just have to surrender and trust. Remember the numbers that you got. The numbers that talked about it's time to build your legacy despite any challenges, and that your angels are telling you that they will help you get started. They will help you. You already have everything you need, and they're here to support you. So what are you waiting for? For your oracle cards, we have Queen of My World. So I get the sense, not to be cheesy here, but Elsa in Frozen, when she's hurt, she runs off and makes a castle out of ice. I feel like that's you. You've isolated yourself from your emotions and from perhaps people because you don't want to get hurt, or for other reasons, like we said, with tradition and being judged and things like that. We have Libra, and it says this energy is diplomatic. We mentioned diplomatic with King of Cups, I think. He is diplomatic. It's diplomatic and gracious. It seeks harmony and balance in relationships. So where have there been imbalances? We have the 6th house, which is Virgo's natural house, and it is the work, health, and duty area of your life. So it could be related to that in some way. We have decisions, which is more of that Libra energy. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. And transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. So literally you're being transformed at a cellular level. This is an immense amount of healing. If you if you decide to surrender and trust, that is. So now we're going to move along to the final portion, which are some things I pulled that could bring some clarity to the situation, or perhaps some things that might happen in the future, some validations. So give me just a second. External deception. You've been deceived by your environment. Look at what's triggering you. Self-sabotage, yep. Wrong relationship. Ask for help. So that sort of goes with you don't have to do it alone. And think for yourself. Wow. Listen to your heart, not others. That is what I have for you. If it resonated, please like, subscribe, comment. I hope to see you next time. Take care and God bless.